welcome back to C2 Novel and Vocab Week 20. Thank you for joining, and let's get started. If you've already watched these videos, go ahead and skip to the first word, but if this is your first time, stay and listen. So, hello everyone. My name is Ms. Kimberly, and the goal of our session is to have students understand each word in our vocabulary workbook and to be cognizant of some phrases from the novel that may be difficult for us to understand. So I'll be here to help you through it all. Today's agenda is, first we'll go over week 20 vocabulary. Second, go over extra example sentences. Third, go over difficult phrases from the novel in our next video. And fourth, after both videos, you will have to review and self-study. But why are we doing this, Miss Kimberly? We are going over the vocabulary to help with vocabulary acquisition, meaning putting more and more words into our brain. By learning the definition, synonym, antonym, and the part of speech of a word, this can significantly and greatly improve your reading comprehension and enhance your contextual usage. Basically meaning you can understand the book better and you'll understand what's going on. Next, we'll go over extra example sentences, and this is to help with your writing variation. By looking at a variety of different example sentences with one specific vocabulary word, students can learn how to use the word in different sentence structures and make it more creative. So, if you don't already, go ahead and get your vocabulary workbook and turn to week 20. And we'll start off with the first word. Are you ready? Everyone say majority. Majority. The synonym is bulk and the antonym is minority. It is a noun and it means the greater part or number, meaning the most. Everyone. Almost everyone. In our book it says, the majority of Americans, about 60%, own their own homes. So this means a greater part of the American society own their own homes. Let's read the example. Together. You ready? 1, 2, 3. The majority of us voted for the field trip, so we are going next week. So say that there is a class of 30 students and 25 of them, the majority, most, or the greater part of the class, voted for the field trip, so they are going to go next week. How fun. Please make sure that you write this example sentence here in this white box. Let's go here. It says, in the zoo, the majority of the animals are mammals, but there are also birds and reptiles. So maybe at this zoo, there's a lot more elephants and tigers and things of that sort. But I guess from the sentence, there's no fish. Next line, it says, out of all the books she read, the majority were mysteries. So maybe she read some, maybe she read the whole A to Z mystery series, right? I know that most of you have read them. And then she's only read The One and Only Ivan. That means the majority, the most, the bulk, the greater part of them were mystery books. Number 2, everyone say coincidentally. Coincidentally. The synonym is unexpectedly, and it's an adverb. It means in a way that it was not planned, but happens by chance. We didn't plan it to happen, but it just happened. In our book, it says, coincidentally, I got a job offer on the same day that I found my apartment. Woo! So they're able to get a job and an apartment at the same day. Coincidentally. Who knew? Example, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. The same day I quit my job was coincidentally the same day I won the lottery. Oh, I would love that. To win the lottery, that would be great. Over here, it says, coincidentally, their flight seats were next to each other, even though they booked separately. So maybe that I booked a plane ticket to Bali. And then another teacher also said, oh, I'm going to go to Bali too. And I said, oh, have fun, have fun. But then when we get on the plane, we're sitting right next to each other. That would be very cool, coincidentally. Next, it says the movie they wanted to see was coincidentally starting in just 5 minutes. So maybe I'm on my phone looking at the app, like, oh, what movies are out there? And like, oh, I want to watch this. And they're like, oh, it starts in 5 minutes, so let's hurry up and go. Coincidentally. It was not planned, but it just happened that way. Number 3, everyone say efficiency. Efficiency. The synonym is effectiveness and the antonym is inefficiency. It is a noun and it means the ability to do something or produce something without wasting materials, time, or energy. Basically, what this means is you're able to do a lot of work without wasting anything. So you have a lot of good efficiency. The sentence in our book says, if you live in a small apartment, you have to think about space efficiency. So you can't just have a huge sofa if you have like a small apartment, right? You have to think about what can fit better. Maybe a little beanbag couch. That would be better for space efficiency. Example, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. Time efficiency is easy to achieve if you have your schedule planned out ahead. So if you have a plan and you put out, oh, by this time I'm going to do my homework, and by this time I'm going to eat dinner, and by this time I'm going to brush my teeth and go to sleep. Maybe time efficiency would be better if you had a whole day planned out. Who knows? Here, it says the new dishwasher saves water and increases efficiency in the kitchen. So maybe it's like a super big water saver. It doesn't use that much, but it also uses less soap, and then it maybe finishes even faster. That would be great efficiency. Next one, it says using a checklist helped her finish her homework with greater efficiency. So maybe it's like, oh, I need to do my into-reading homework. Check. Vocab homework. Check. Watch Miss Kimberly's videos. Check. And having that all planned out and written out helped this person with her homework efficiency. Number 4, everyone say storage. Storage. The synonym is storehouse, and it is a noun, and it means space where things are put away when they are not being used. So we don't just have it out in the living room, we don't have it in our room, but it's stored away in storage. In the book it says, my new apartment does not have a lot of storage space. So I left a lot of my books at my parents' house. Yes, so if you don't have enough space somewhere to put things like storage, whether it be a closet or maybe like an attic upstairs, then you would have to think of ways to not have so much things lying around. Storage. Let's read the example together. 1, 2, 3. My grandmother's attic is being used as a space for storage to keep her old books. I'm glad this sentence talks about attics because I just mentioned it, but we don't have attics in Korea because we all live in an apartment. But an attic is a room upstairs, very, very, very top floor of your house, and it's quite small, but it's usually just a place for storage, or people can go up there to play, but it's usually quite dusty. Let's look here. It says they put the holiday decorations in storage until next year. So yes, if you know the exit door of M.I, when you're all lining up to leave, there is a storage room on the right side. It's very small, but that's where we keep our holiday decorations too until the next year. Don't go in there though. Next line, it says the phone storage was full, so she deleted some old photos. Sometimes my phone also says storage is almost complete or full, so I always have to delete my old photos so that I can take new photos. Storage. Now let's go into our novel words, everyone. Number 5 is scolding. Everyone say scolding. The synonym is a reprimand and the antonym is praise. The part of speech is a noun and it means an act of speaking angrily to someone who has done something wrong. So it's like you're getting in trouble, scolding. In our book it says his parents hugged him many times that night in between their scoldings. So there's but then hug, and then hug. Let's read the example sentence. Oh no, it says Miss K. I hope it's not me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Miss K gave a stern scolding to the disruptive students for their rude behavior. So they're like, hey, stop talking or else you're gonna get a yellow card. Or, I don't know, they're getting yelled at. But don't worry, this Miss K, that's not me. I don't do any scolding. Here, it says the puppy got a scolding for chewing on the shoes. Yes, puppies, when they're teething, they like to chew on many things, and then they chew on shoes, and you can say, hey, puppy, don't do that. That's not good. Next one, it says, after the accident, the children received a scolding for running in the hallway. So maybe they were running in the hallway, and they bumped into each other, and now their tooth fell out, and one's crying. And then the teacher was like, why did you run in the hallway? Don't run in the hallway. Scolding. Make sure you don't get a scolding. Number 6, everyone say specimen. Specimen. The synonym is sample, and the part of speech is a noun. It means something such as an animal or plant collected as an example. So lots of scientists will collect different types of specimens to do experiments with. So let's look at what the book says. Not the greatest specimen, Max says, but I got her cheap from this bankrupt circus out west. So they're saying not the greatest animal or not the greatest thing ever, but it'll do. Let's read the example together. 1, 2, 3. The scientists carefully examined the specimen under the microscope. So here it's not an animal or a plant, but maybe it's part of it. So maybe it's the blood of an animal or like the little leaf parts of a tree so that they can see it under the microscope. Over here, it says the explorers discovered a new specimen of fish in the deep sea. So they discovered a new type, a new animal down there. Next one, it says the museum displayed a rare specimen of an ancient fossil. So here, maybe they found a huge fossil and then they had it in the museum. And it's like a huge specimen that's on display. Specimen. Number 7, everyone say nimbly. Nimbly. So we don't say nimbly, nimbly. The synonym is swiftly, and the antonym is sluggishly. It's an adverb, and it means with quick and easy movement, so you're very quick about it. In the book, it says, Stella moves to George's left pocket and discovers a carrot. Nimbly, she removes it, so she's able to do it with her trunk. Get it out, take it, and eat it. Let's read the example together. 1, 2, 3. The acrobat moved nimbly and performed incredible flips at the circus show. So they're very fluid. It's very swift and fast and looks very easy to them. I, on one hand, would never be able to do that. Scared and I just can't. Over here, it says the squirrel climbed the tree nimbly, jumping from branch to branch. So it just jumped here and then jumped here and jumped here. It's able to go up the tree very quickly. Next one, it says he stepped nimbly over the puddles to keep his shoes dry. So after the rain and there's still some puddles on the ground, we don't want to step on them, or do we sometimes? But we try to jump over and not get our shoes wet. Nimbly. Number 8, everyone say intensely. Intensely. The synonym is attentively, and the antonym is distractedly. It's an adverb and it means in a concentrated or focused way. So if you're listening very intensely, you're like, trying to listen very carefully. In our book, it says, she studies it intensely. Her head turns so that one black eye is trained on my drawing. So she's looking. Example, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. I listened intensely to hear what they were saying by focusing all of my attention. I'm trying to listen very carefully. Over here, it says the child sat intensely in front of the television, fascinated by the cartoon. So usually when we see young children watching TV, they're super focused on it and they can't get their eyes off of it. That means they're watching intently. Next one, it says the audience stared intently at the magician as he performed his trick. So maybe he pulled a rabbit out of a hat and then everyone's like, how did he do that? So they're just watching him very intently, focused on him. Next one, number 9, everyone say emphasize. Emphasize. The synonym is stress, but not the bad stress that we get. So hold on to that. It's not that type of stress. This antonym is understate. It is a verb and it means to show that something is very important or worth giving attention to. So when we are emphasizing our words, like I just did, I gave it some, I said it in a louder voice, right? To emphasize. That's what it means. To show it that it is important. In our book it says you have to emphasize the importance of fiber in their diets. Meaning you have to tell them how important it is. Example, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. During the presentation, the speaker used pictures to emphasize his key points. Very good. And over here it says, posters in the school hallway emphasize the importance of recycling. And I know there are little signs in our hallway at M.I that say, no running, no scribbling, only speak English. Those are to emphasize, to show that those are some important rules at M.I. Next one, it says the author used italics to emphasize important words in the book. So sometimes you may have already known, because I mentioned it in my past videos, if you watched, but some of the words are in italics. So they're italicized, meaning that they are a bit slanted. So the author uses those types of things to emphasize, to show that those words are important to the text. Number 10, everyone say coo. Coo. The synonym is murmur, and the part of speech is a verb. It means to speak in a soft, gentle, or loving way. Coo. In the book it says, the humans stopped eating their popcorn. They coo, they clap. This is when they saw Ruby. Let's read the example together. 1, 2, 3. When I'm having a bad day, my mom coos and comforts me. So she's like, it's all right. Don't be sad. It's okay. It'll be better tomorrow. Soft, gentle, and loving. Over here, it says she cooed over the cute puppy, gently stroking its fur. Like, oh, it's so cute. Oh my gosh. And then you pet it. Next line, as the child cooed to her doll, she pretended to tuck it to bed. So when we had dolls and we used to play with them, or we still do, maybe you're like, oh, sweet little baby, go to sleep, and then you put it to bed. To coo. Number 11, everyone say ragged. Ragged. The synonym is irregular, and the antonym is even. The part of speech is an adjective, and it means not regular or controlled. So here it says, Stella is lying in a pile of dirty hay. Her breath is ragged. So her breathing isn't just, it's not normal, but it's regular. It's not regular or controlled. Let's read the example sentence. 1, 2, 3. Our sick dog's breathing was so ragged that we rushed him to the vet. So again, this was another sense for ragged breathing. So it's not normal. Maybe that they're breathing a bit too fast too. Over here also, it says his breathing was ragged after running the long race. I don't know about you, but if I finish a long race, I cannot control my breathing. It's always so that's the type of ragged breathing. Next one. It says his handwriting was so ragged that it was hard to read the letter. Sometimes I get these missions from you guys. I cannot read this ragged handwriting, but I try my best and still give you the dollars. Number 12, everyone say addled. Addled. The synonym is confused and the antonym is alert. It's an adjective and it means unable to think clearly. It says in the book, never mind, she finally says, I don't know what I was thinking. The pain is making me addled. Oh no, it says low battery. Sorry about that. Example, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. After staying up all night to study, I felt completely addled. So maybe sometimes if you do study all night, it helps you. But sometimes when I study all night until it's super dark, I get super tired the next day and I cannot think clearly at all. Let's read the example here. It says, the loud music made her feel addled as she tried to concentrate on her homework. She's like, I cannot think. Next one, it says, the sudden change of plans left her feeling addled and unsure of what to do next. So there are a lot of people who need like a plan, right? We go to school, then we go to academy, then we eat dinner, then we go to sleep. But then maybe something changed in between and it made her feel very confused and unable to think clearly. Number 13, everyone say wince. Wince. The synonym is grimace and the part of speech is a verb. It means to show pain or embarrassment suddenly and for a short time in the face. So it's like, my back. And then you can see that facial change, right? I winced to show pain. In her book, it says, Stella nods, a small gesture that makes her wince. So she goes, because shaking her head causes her pain. Example, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. She could not help but wince in pain when she tripped and fell on her back. Oh, of course, if you tripped and fell on your back, of course I would not just wince. I would probably call out for help and be like, and yell. Over here, it says, he winced when he accidentally touched the hot stove. You touch it, ouch. To wince. Next, it says, she couldn't help but wince at the sound of the chalk screeching on the blackboard. Oh, just imagining this sentence made me wince. Oh, imagine someone scratching or the chalk on the chalkboard. I don't like it. Number 14, everyone say shroud. Shroud. The synonym is conceal and the antonym is uncover. It is a verb and it means to cover or hide something. In our book it says, when I gaze at the food court skylight, the moon Stella loved is shrouded in clouds, meaning it is covered by the clouds. The next one, example, let's read. 1, 2, 3. The thick fog shrouded the mountain, almost completely hiding it from view. So with this fog, I was unable to see the mountain because it covered it. Shroud. Over here, it says the magician used a cloth to shroud the box before performing the trick. So he covered it and then maybe it was gone. Next one, it says dark clouds shrouded the sun, turning the afternoon into night. So it was transitioning from daytime to nighttime. Number 15, everyone say chemist. Chemist. The part of speech is a noun and it means a person who studies chemistry or a scientist who works with chemicals or studies their reactions. So a chemist is a person who, mixes a lot of different types of chemicals together to see what type of reaction will happen. And as you can see here is a picture of a chemist. In the book it says, when I was a chemist in Korea, I had the neatest lab in the company. So he worked in this huge lab. An example, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. The chemist explained the properties of different chemicals. So maybe they're like, oh, this is sodium, and sodium does this, and this is hydrogen, and hydrogen does this. Let's look here. It says the chemist in the lab was mixing different liquids to create new medicine. Put a little bit of this together and put a little bit of this, mix it around, and poof, maybe it became medicine. Next one, it says, a famous chemist discovered how to make a stronger and lighter type of plastic. So maybe, I know that some of us use a lot of like the really thin plastic water bottles that we have. Definitely, a chemist had made that up, or discovered it at least. Number 16, everyone say blurt. Blurt. The synonym is exclaim, and it is a verb which means to say something suddenly and without thinking, usually due to feeling excited or nervous. So you just accidentally yell it out. In the book it says, but English is easy, Cooper blurted. So it's not just, but English is easy. But blurted means to say something suddenly and loud and excited or nervous. But here he was excited. Next one, let's read the example together. 1, 2, and 3. My teacher reminds us not to blurt out the answers, but to raise our hands. That is a huge rule at MI. We should always raise our hand before saying something because we want to give a chance to everyone to answer. Over here it says he blurted his surprise plans for her birthday, even though it was supposed to be a secret. So maybe they're like, oh, Kimberly, I heard we're going to McDonald's for your birthday. But maybe Kimberly didn't know anything. He blurted the surprise. Next one, it says, the actor blurted his line too soon, causing the director to yell, cut! So maybe he said his line too fast and it wasn't his time yet. So the director had to cut it and they had to redo it. Blurt. 17, everyone say dip. Dip. The synonym is drop and the antonym is rise. It's a verb and means to go down to a lower level. To dip. In our book it says the sun dipped behind them as they walked along, meaning the sun was not just dipping, but the sun was setting, right? Because it was going down. Next one, example 1, 2, 3. The plane dips lower as it prepares to land. So when we're trying to descend our plane, we go bloop and bloop, and then maybe it'll go down. Over here, it says the road dipped slightly before going back up the hill. So maybe we're on the road, it goes down a bit, but then we have to go up a hill. Next one, it says, as the sun set, the temperature started to dip, making the evening cooler. And I know that's definitely happening right now. When it's nighttime, the weather and temperature dips a lot, actually. 18, everyone say mingle. Mingle, and move your shoulders like this. Mingle. It means to blend, and the opposite, the synonym or the antonym is separate. It is a verb and it means to mix or combine. In our book, it says the soft sound of their languages mingling in the gentle evening air. So there's like the sound of them talking also mixed with the air. Example 1, 2, 3. The various conversations began to mingle together in the room. So maybe there's a person talking over there, and then another person talking over here, and then 2 people talking over here. All their voices started to combine and mingle in the room. Over here, it says she decided to mingle with the crowd to see if she could find her friends. So she's mixing in with the crowd, talking to other people, trying to find her friend. Next one, it says the smells of fresh flowers and baked bread mingled in the air. Ooh, that would smell very good. Fresh flowers and baked bread. Mingling in my nose. Number 19, everyone say pursuit. Pursuit. The synonym is endeavor and the antonym is abandonment. It is a noun and it means the act of trying to achieve a plan, activity, or situation, usually over a long period of time. So it's like our journey. It's what we're going to do, what we're set off to do for our goal. Example, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. The pirate spent countless years in pursuit of the hidden treasure. So he spent many, many years looking for the treasure. Over here, it says, She was in pursuit of the perfect recipe and tried many different ingredients until she found the right one. So she's like, I'm on a mission. I need to find the best recipe for this blueberry pie. Next one, it says, his pursuit of a career in medicine took many years of hard work and study. So in order to be a successful doctor or a surgeon, it doesn't just take 1 year and poof, you're a doctor. But the pursuit in the career of medicine takes many, many years. And our last word, everyone say property. Property. The synonym is belongings and the antonym is debt. The part of speech is a noun and means something owned by someone. So, this is my phone. It is my property. This is my... Oh no, this is M.I's book. So this is M.I's property to be owned by something. Get the example together. 1, 2, 3. The successful businessman owns a tremendous amount of property. So maybe he owns a house, many cars, lots of furniture. Who knows? Over here, it says the property had a long fence around it so that people wouldn't trespass. So meaning this area, this house next door is owned by somebody else and that property had a long fence around it. Or the next one, it says the property next door was for sale and they decided to buy it to build a garden. So over there they said, oh, I'm going to buy this land and this house to make it my property and I'm going to build a garden there instead. Property. Very good, everyone. And here is our mission. It says, tell me about a time you accidentally blurted something. Maybe it was in class, maybe it was a secret that you shouldn't have said, but just tell me a little bit of fun stuff. I love reading your missions. Please write at least 5 sentences. If not, less is okay, but 1 sentence is definitely not enough. Don't forget your name, class, and week, and please turn in your missions. Remember, the person with the most missions for this semester gets a big prize. And now over here it says review and self-study. This is for contextual mastery, so please review all the words again, read it out loud, and complete your vocabulary homework pages in your vocabulary workbook. Thank you for joining me again this week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.